What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be building farms on the DonutSMP and ranking them from F tier to S tier. Let's get into it. So I'm here at my stone farm, and it may look really complicated, but I'll actually explain every bit and how it works, and you'll seem to understand a bit more. So basically all you do is sit here and break the blocks as they get generated by the lava and water. I have them being dropped out of droppers here, and you go up a water bubble column until they get to the shulker loader, which loads them for better storage. But one thing that I'd recommend if you want to AFK for long periods of time is adding in these. This is a simple redstone clock that dispenses a 1 XP bottle every couple of seconds. And with a mending pickaxe, that means you can AFK almost the entire night. So long as you have enough XP bottles, they shouldn't run out. What I'm going to do now is AFK each farm for exactly 30 minutes so we can see how much they will make. So I'll get back to you in 30 minutes and we'll see how much the stone farm makes. So after AFKing for half an hour, like 30 minutes, I made 2 shulkers of stone, and there's like some cobblestone in there, and that's about it. So let's put this all into orders and see how much we get. Stone, $100 each. 300k. Cobblestone. Cobblestone. Alright, so stone goes for about $100 each. Sell that. So we've made, in total, from half an hour, about $310,000. I mean, that's pretty good. But I'm still ready to beat you. The next farm we're going to be doing is Kelp. But the thing is, I have this giant, like, sort of mega base for Kelp. Like, this is as big as I can really get it with the render distance and how the flying machines work. I'll put a link in the description of all the farm designs, including this one. This one's from Colin CD3G or something. But this is actually 4 of his farms, which is pretty big, as you can see. But I'll just run the test, and I'll also give you a quarter of the price so you can see what it would be if you just built one. Alright, so now, after the 30 minutes, I'm just going to turn it off. And the thing with this farm is you actually have to wait for it to come all the way back here. And then it will actually stop, so... Alright, now it's stopped. Now let's see how much kelp we actually got from the farm. Okay, it's all in. We managed to get this much kelp, which is actually quite a lot. So let's put this into an order. See how much we can get. Order right now is for $22. I recommend waiting if you have a kelp farm like this because it's not that fast. I could still make half a chest in half an hour. Well, not half a chest, but still a decent amount. But I still recommend waiting until the order is something like 25 instead of 22. And we get $874,000 for half an hour of AFK. That is very good. I'm gonna rate this kelp farm probably like an A tier because it doesn't make that much, but you don't need bone meal or anything really. You can just kind of AFK, and it's very like beginner friendly. You don't lose any drops. You don't. It's all very easy to build and everything like that. So I'm gonna give it a solid A tier. Alright, next we'll go to hunt. So this is a farm that not many people really know about, or people just think it's really bad, but it's actually, in theory, a very, very good farm. But in reality, it's not that good, and I'll tell you about that later. Basically, how it works is just... And I actually built 2, and since these are scalable, so you can make them as long as you want. How big I made mine was 27, which is 1 shulker of beehives per side. So this is 2 27 long farms connected up into the same storage system. So I'm just gonna AFK this for half an hour and I'll tell you how much I get. Alright, so another half an hour later, I've stopped AFKing. Let's check how much we got. Alright, so this is quite a bit. It may not look like a lot because it's only half a chest, but the method is to craft it all into honey blocks, just like this. So we managed to get 1 stack and 14. And then what you do with the honey blocks is you go /h honey. 1 honey block sells for 25 to 30k. And if you do the maths, it's a lot of money. Like, I'll actually do it right now. So I just made $1.6 million. But the only problem is you can't just put it in an order. You have to sell it one by one. So yeah, it's not as good as the other farms because it's not instant. And if you AFK it overnight, it could take you like days to get rid of all the honey because you have to sell it all one by one. And that would just suck. So I do recommend building this farm, but maybe just a bit smaller and have it in a base where you AFK just next to like your main farm, so that it's like, see, someone just bought 2 blocks. It's like, it's a good farm to have like in your base, but not your base. Like, it's not the main thing. I'm gonna rate honey like a bee tier. It's really hard to get the beehives. You have to transfer bees from bee nests. Breeding takes a while. You need lots of flowers, but you'll probably be able to get those from a flower pal. So I think I found a good spot to dig down and make a space for the fungus farm. So let me just bind him with this pickaxe real quick. I'm gonna look for one with at least a day or 2 left on its time. Although they are pretty expensive right now. Guess I'm spending 13 mil on a pickaxe. Man, it hurts. Alright, now we have the dugout area. I'm going to be using the Concept V1 fungus farm. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to build it. But I'll also be giving out this base for free. And all you have to do is leave a comment with your Discord username and make sure you liked and subscribe. And I'll pick a random person and add them on Discord and give you the base. Alright guys, this is what the schematic looks like. And I'm going to just get to building. Alright, it took me about 40 minutes, but it's finally done. And let's fill it up with bone meal, I guess, and run it for half an hour and see how much we get. Alright, I just placed an order for bone meal because this farm doesn't have a built-in auto crafter, which is kind of dumb, but I placed an order for bone meal. I spent 900k. I'm going to see if we make profit. And if so, how much profit? I just finished putting all of the stuff that came out into shulkers. And let me just check the farm. In total, it made exactly 2 double chests of fungus and all that kind of like roots and stuff. So I'm gonna sell it and see if I make profit, because I spent $900,000 exactly. Let's see how much we get. in total we made $1,001,001. So only 100k profit, and it took like half an hour to put it all in. So that's actually not good. And it was probably the most complex farm to build. So yeah. I was sort of confused while building and finishing because it didn't really give me that much money, and I've heard that Crimson is pretty good, but I'll give it a B tier, since it didn't make that much profit and it was pretty hard to build, but still a decent farm. So the next thing I'm going to be ranking is a pumpkin farm, which I've heard is pretty bad, but let's put it to the test. And I've already sort of got an area dug out for it, but we obviously got to make it deeper, so let's get to digging. I just finished digging out the area. Now I just need to get the materials and start building. Alright, I'm done building the farm, and now I'm going to AFK for 30 minutes, and we'll see how much I get. Accidentally AFK'd for a bit too long. It's been about 40 minutes, but since the pumpkin farm's just trash, it's probably not going to be that much anyway. Bruh. $20K. Alright, next up, we got Cactus. So, let me go build it real quick. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to leave the coordinates to this base somewhere in the video, so you might have to look for that. I just finished building the cactus farm. Now I'm going to AFK for 30 minutes and we'll see how much we get. But I'm also going to be leaving the coordinates to this base somewhere in the video, so keep your eyes peeled. I AFK'd for half an hour. As you can see, some of it's kind of like coming off the side, so we probably lost a bit of drops, but managed to get all this. Let's order it. $25 each is decent, I'm pretty sure. 20K. It's not looking good, but as I said, you will be able to find the coordinates to the base somewhere in this video, so if you want to come and raid it or just like use it, I guess, well, you can come find it. Overall, I think I'm gonna give Cactus like a D tier. Like, it's better than Pumpkin, because Pumpkin's kind of like expensive with all the observers and pistons, but Cactus can be scaled pretty big, even though it's not that good. Next up's gonna be Bamboo. I'm just gonna build a small farm, and I'm not gonna record it. I'm just gonna get back to you when I'm done. I've got the first layer done. It's all hooked up with the redstone. Now I'm just gonna build the rest of it. Alright, I just built the second layer, and I think I'm just gonna do 2 layers because it kind of does take a long time to build these farms. So let's do the 30-minute test. Alright, so I actually ended up AFKing for like an hour, so let's just see how much we got. Oh. Wait, I might have not made the storage big enough. Alright, well, let's order it. You can still see how much we made, but we probably lost a lot of drops from that. Okay, so in total, that's like 70K-ish. Not as good as I was hoping, but I think it's because of this that I didn't make it big enough. I think I'm gonna rate Bamboo like a solid like
put it like... I'll put it like B tier. I mean, it definitely has to be big for it to be good, but... Yeah, I think I just made it a bit too small, but it's all good. Alright, so we have to say goodbye to another base, but this base also, I'm going to leave the coords somewhere in the video, like hidden, so also look out for this one as well, I guess. Next up, it's going to be vines, so I'm just going to build a simple vines farm, and it's going to be just my design, so something really small and simple. Alright, I just finished the farm. I spent 175k on the bones, so I'm gonna turn it on and see if it even works, and if so, let's see if we make profit. And it's broken. Alright, so I finished fixing it. It took a while, and I had to like do a bunch of different like things because I didn't make a schematic or anything. I actually decided to make it by myself, which was kind of stupid, but all I have to do is turn this on, and that'll break them. And then we just turn this on. This will dispense them. I mean, look at that. It's pretty good, and then it all collects in here. We already got this much. So now we just gotta wait for it to all get dispensed, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, it's finally done. So now let me turn this off. Keep in mind, I spent 175k on this. So we have this much vines and 3 full shulkers, because I was putting them in shulkers because the storage was like... I mean, it's one chest, bro. Like, it's not enough. And let's order these, because I'm sure /sell is not going to be good enough. 85k, so it actually makes negative money. And it's half my money and spent like an hour doing this, so... Yeah, bro, this is not a good farm. Alright, we're putting vines in F tier before the pumpkin, because the pumpkin actually makes money. Like, eventually the pumpkin would make profit, but vines farms are just trash. Unless you have a non-bone meal vines farm, then it's probably really good, but I just can't be bothered doing that. So, yeah, vines is trash. Alright, next up is pickle farm, and I've actually never had one, but I heard it used to be pretty good and then it got nerfed, so we're gonna see if it's still like worth building. Alright, I just finished the pickle farm, and I spent exactly $72,000 on bones. Let's see if I can make a profit. I'm gonna turn it on to AFK until it's done. Alright, I just finished AFKing, but let's see if it made profit. I'm pretty sure it was 72k that I spent on the... Alright, so we made like 23, 26, 40, 43k, and we spent 72k. Pickle farm is not very good after the nerf, bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'll rate the pickle farm like a D tier, because I'm pretty sure there's better farms than the one I built. I just wanted to make a small one though, because the next one I have to build is a pink piddle, and I'm gonna have to make a ginormous farm, but yeah, it's not. Pickles aren't that good, I guess. Guys, I got bad news. The cherry blossom pink piddle farm base that I was in the midst of building, it was raided. So I'm probably just not gonna raid it. But that's the thing, bro. It's a really good farm from what I've seen, but just it's really hard to build because It has to be in a specific biome, and if someone sees this biome, they're bound to just look up and then mine down. So I don't recommend building this. I recommend sticking with fungus.